Because if you're playing Hazard as a false nine, you have to be amazing at passing. You have to be able to pass through very tight channels, and you've just got to be very good at passing the ball.
Double H. Double H. Double H. Double H. Double H. Double H.
So you beat Man City. Great victory. You beat Brighton. Home game. Because Brighton was away. Home game, and you lose to Leicester City. Jamie Vardy. Can we talk about the false nine? Can we talk about the false nine? I think Chelsea fans need to be realistic with themselves, but I'm going to give a shout out for Leicester City. Claude Puel is doing really good things with Leicester City, doing some really, really good things. I thought that he'd probably make them a mid-table club, maybe ninth at the best, but he's doing really, really well with them. And every game I see them, I'm like, no, these guys have a pretty good core and pretty good system that they're playing in. So really, really well, good coaching from Claude Puel. False nine. I've said this many times before, and I'll say it again. Only two teams can play the false nine. Peak Spain and Messi Barcelona. Okay, the false nine is a very complicated, very intricate formation. And the only way a false nine works is if you have extremely good passers of the ball. High IQ passers. Chelsea don't have that. They've got pretty good passers of the goal, pretty intricate guys. I don't see a Xavi in Chelsea's team. I don't see an Iniesta. I don't see a 2011 Pedro. I don't see a David Villa. I don't see a Messi. I don't see a David Silva. I don't see a peak Cesc Fabregas. Those are the dudes who can play the false nine, because those guys at their peak were high tier passers. It ain't Willian. It ain't 2018 Pedro. It ain't Loftus-Cheek. It ain't Kovacic. So, yes, Chelsea had opportunities. Yes, they had chances. But because again, look, Hazard scores that chance in the first half. Boom. He should have scored it. 100% he should have scored it, but he didn't score it. And I think people need to understand this. Hazard, and this is the danger here. Because Hazard has obviously been given the striker role, which of course is false in a way he can drift in and out of it. But the thing is that, and I need people to understand this, Eden Hazard is not a goal scorer. I don't know how many different ways you want me to say this, okay? I at least speak so many languages, so I'm trying in slow English right now. Hazard is not a goal scorer. So when he misses something like, I'm like, oh my gosh, man, that's what you should be doing. You should be, wait. You should be scoring. Wait, what? He's not. A striker should be scoring, because a striker, your job is you score those goals, you get that one-on-one. And for me, I've always felt that, look, Giroud needs to be there. And I think for Chelsea, obviously in that first half, they were looking for that goal, lots of passes of the ball. And I just think that, there were just times where, all right, guys, they're just too many bodies, too many passes of the ball, too many cooks in the kitchen, and it's not working. And I remember what I said in my preview. I said that Willian needs to tell Sarri what Willian that we're getting. Willian, two things. Either Willian lied by saying that we were getting the good Willian, or Willian didn't tell Sarri which Willian that we were getting, because we got the bad Willian there, where you're not doing anything that's really right and properly affecting the team in a positive manner. You're not doing anything that's really affecting the team in a positive manner. Because I think there was one play where pretty good, intricate, nice one-touch passing came over to Willian. And Willian was obviously trying to bend it into the bottom right, and he just pretty much scuffed it across the floor. Giroud is needed in this team, because you have to look at France and what made France so good and what made France so effective was Giroud. Because Giroud helped Mbappe, he helped Griezmann, because he helps to free up space. Because Giroud occupies the space. Because if you're playing Hazard as a false nine, you have to be amazing at passing. You have to be able to pass through very tight channels, and you've just got to be very good at passing the ball. And I say again, last I checked, Willian and 2018 Pedro are not 2010, are not flipping 2011 Pedro, David Villa, peak Fabregas, or David Silva, or Iniesta, or Xavi. Okay, that is how the false nine works. Not every team can play the false nine. So if you don't have high quality passes in your box, get a striker. Get a striker to occupy space. And I think obviously he came on, but for me, again, comments below. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you did disagree. Hazard as a false nine does not work. It doesn't work. Like, correction. It works to a degree. It works to a degree. It is not a long term. It's not sustainable long term. Now, if you were to get Eriksen, you were to get David Silva, you were to get Verratti or something, okay, now we're talking about something. But you have to see, Sarri, you can't just enforce a formation and then enforce a philosophy. This management is about having a flipping equilibrium. You have to look at who are the players that you have here. Willian is a specific kind of player. Okay, Willian is not the kind of guy who will be able to pick out that pinpoint pass. That's not his game. Pedro can, but again, Pedro is not always going to give it to you on a consistent basis. You know, I think Loftus-Cheek should always be in the game, because I think every time that Loftus-Cheek is in the game, he breaks from midfield beautifully. So he should always be within the game. And I think David Luiz's passing ain't going to change things fully. It may change things to a certain degree, but it's not going to change things fully. And I want to just also say this as well, because I think this is going to be an ongoing war throughout this season on the Half-Full Football Hut. So again, let's engage. Hashtag Hazard Hive. Eden Hazard is still top 3. Eden Hazard is still top 3. And let me be fully clear why he's still top 3 pertaining to this game specifically. I don't think that, correction, out of the top 4 teams in any of the leagues, there is no other player that has to shoulder as much responsibility as Hazard. Messi has Ousmane Dembele, who just scored again, by the way, and he has the Cannibal Suarez. Name another top team where one man has to do the amount of stuff that Hazard has to do. At a point, so I wish I took a JPEG or a screenshot. At a point, I think it was in the first half, when Hazard had possession of the ball, there were 4 Leicester City players around him. Are you listening to what I'm saying? There were 4 Leicester City players around him. When I say he is top 3, it is based on his ability. I do not put rankings based on stats. I don't know how else you want me to say this. So when people sort of start jumping up and down, like, yes, Hazard, he didn't score, he didn't help them, and let me now start typing in. You will not change my view by you just saying that you're a stats merchant. If you're a stats merchant, that's fine. It's a huge world, it's a big world, it is free for everybody, it's a stats merchant, it's fine. But I rate Hazard based on his ability, and what Hazard does for this team and how much he does for this team is insane. And that's the issue. That's the problem. He's having to do too much. He's having to do too much for this flipping team. And I fear that he could be burnt out because, sorry, my Lord in heaven, how much? He's the entire attack. He's the entire attack. It's too much. It's too much. Okay, let a guy live. Let a guy live. Chelsea were never going to win the damn Premier League, man. Okay. They're never going to win the damn Premier League. But I just think, Sarri needs to rethink longer term, because I think in this game showed that if a team can defend like Leicester City, get lucky, get a bit lucky here and there, with them. Obviously, Schmeichel making a key save and so forth. Defend well, and they can now just take their opportunity, take that chance, make that breakaway as they did so when Maddison was able to find Vardy and Vardy executed. That's a recipe for disaster, because again, it was almost the similar thing that happened to Wolves. Chelsea controlled the game for so long, boom. The guy hits with 2 soccer punches. Chelsea controlled this game for ages, boom. Asleep, get hit with a soccer punch. It's a very, like, this is just seems very eerily similar to the Wolves game. So, but I just think I just have to drive this home. And I think I see a lot of coaches trying to do this. The false nine is not for everybody. The false nine tactic is not for everyone. Because again, like, you see, I'm not a fan of the false nine. I will always have a striker. If I'm a manager, I always have a striker in my team because I just believe in the striker. I respect the striker, respect the role of the striker, and I think the striker plays a very important role for helping my team and occupying the defenders. Because remember, and this is like a key thing as well, you play Hazard as a false nine or as the striker. You know that you can't cross the ball in the air. That's a no-go. You cannot cross the ball in the air if Hazard is in there. Everything has got to be on the ground, and if everything has to be on the ground, especially in the final third, your passing has got to be amazing, because it is very difficult to thread the eye of a needle in the final third. So it goes to the point that I said, you have to have amazing passes of the ball. Apart from Fabregas, tell me an amazing passer of the ball to the degree of peak Xavi or peak Iniesta or peak David Silva. Please tell me. Okay. So, like, sorry, I get what you're trying to do. I get the system. I get what you're trying to create. You will never come close to what Spain did in 2012 and what Barcelona used to do from time to time. Because the best display of the false nine was what Spain did in 2012. I insulted Spain in 2012. I said, look at these clowns. Think you can bloody win bloody Euros without playing a striker? Yeah, we can actually. So, bad loss. Really bad loss. And I think that for Sarri, you cannot control the game in the way that they did and come away with the loss. And that is why possession means nothing. Having possession of the ball means nothing. You have to put that ball in that flipping net, man. Get Hazard some help, please. Thank you. #HazardHive. Thanks for watching the video. Now think about becoming a Football Hot patron by pledging an amount each month and then gain access to exclusive content only on the Football Hot Patreon page. Peace. Head over to the official site at halffootballhot.com or just click over here.